The Spanish team has managed to secure their spot in the semifinals of the 2026 FIFA World Cup, and it's been absolutely brilliant on the part of coach Luis de la Fuentes and his side. And of course, it was a difficult one. In my match preview, I talked about the fact that it was going to be a difficult game, and Belgium will be coming with new ideas. In as much as I predicted that the Spanish team will start at favorite, I knew that it's going to be a difficult one because Belgium might also want to push through and secure their spot to make it into the semi-final for the first time in 8 years since 2018 when they made it into the semi-final. And of course, for the first time, we saw the Spanish team conceding in this World Cup. Goalkeeper Unai Simon needed to play, 5 games before he conceded. We saw him the game against Cape Verde, in the second group game against Saudi Arabia, against Uruguay, against Austria in the round of 32, and of course against Portugal. He needed to play 5 games after before he's going to concede in the tournament, which was quite a brilliant one from the Spain. All the goals they scored today were from rebounds. And in the first half, the Spanish team started well. Quick feet movement from Lamine Yamal and Pedro Porro on the right side. They were kind of troubling the Belgians on their left side of defense where the Koipa was operating. The likes of Nathan Ngoy needed to come on some couple of occasions to rescue the Belgium team at the back line. Timothy Kaiskania was quite okay, but today you can clearly see that the absence of Yuri Tillemans and the absence of Amadou Onana deeply affected the Belgium side due owing to injury, and that was the reason why both midfielders were not seen. And the likes of Raskin, the likes of Kevin De Bruyne were finding it quite difficult to deal with the brilliant play of the Spanish. The Spanish team, if I tell you their defensive side, some people might not agree with me. The Spanish team is a defensive side, but the thing is, the Spanish team defends with the ball. They defend by holding up the ball, and this prevents pressure from coming up to the back line. Their center backs are not kind of rugged defenders. They are not the kind of, the likes of Paul Kubasi, Aymeric Laporte. No, they are just kind of calm and cool type who likes to build out, not to take on the long balls and the likes. And the Spanish team likes to hold up onto the ball. And that's the reason why the Spanish team of different years for some couple of times now, they always try as much as possible to get technically gifted midfielders. The likes of Xavi, Iniesta, Cesc Fabregas, the likes of David Silva. We saw them a couple of times. Juan Manuel Mata came at a point in time. And now it's been the generation of the likes of Rodri, Pedri, the likes of Fabian Ruiz, and the likes. That is the reason why it's difficult to play against the Spanish team oftentimes. Goalkeeper Thibaut Courtois needed to make some couple of brilliant saves in the first half to keep the Belgium team in the game. But from how things pan out, from quick feet movement from Lamine Yamal to Dani Olmo, he took a shot and it was a rebound because goalkeeper Thibaut Courtois punched the ball and it fell in front of Fabian Ruiz as he scored the first goal for the Spanish side. And of course, the Belgian team kept on attacking when a pull-out from the right side, Charles de Ketelaere of Atalanta pounced on that, and of course, he had the match equalizer for the Belgium side. So the game was played till it went to the first half, and of course, that was how it ended. The Spanish team made sure they dominated the midfield. The likes of Pedri, the likes of Rodri, Dani Olmo, who was playing just in front of the double pivot of Rodri and then Fabian Ruiz, make sure he drops. And of course, you see Mikel Oyarzabal also often dropping down to add up to the midfield. And of course, alongside the wings, that made up of Alex Baena and of course Lamine Yamal. Jeremy Doku showed some couple of tremendous performances deeply in the first half. Not much was seen from the likes of Leandro Trossard, but I think the likes of Nathan Ngoy at the back line, Timothy Castagna, Martin De Cooper, and I think the likes of Raskan also and Makel also did very well at the back line for the Belgium side. But you could clearly see that they were lacking the firepower, the cutting edge. And in the second half, some couple of changes. The likes of Ferran Torres came in the Spanish team. Nico Williams was also made available to come into the game for the Spanish team, And of course, you saw the likes of Kevin De Bruyne was also substituted. But the Spanish team kept on going through, pushing through. And there was it, the man, cometh the hour, cometh the man, Mikel Merino. Another rebound, a shot from Pau Kubasi, of which the goalkeeper who substituted Thibaut Courtois after his injury, Sene Lamens of Manchester City, he was trying to hold the ball from the first instant. And I think that was the problem he had. Instead of him deciding to punch the ball, maybe different wayward, I think that should have been the best decision for goalkeeper Sene Lamens. But he decided to catch the ball. Unfortunately, he wasn't able, and the ball fell in front of Mikel Merino. Mikel Merino needed just less than 2 minutes to score for the Spanish team. He needed less than 6 minutes to score for the Spanish team in the game against Portugal. And that was the decider that took the Spanish team into the quarterfinals of the 2026 FIFA World Cup. And of course, Mikel Merino, after coming in the game to substitute Mikel Oyarzabal, was the man again to score the final goal of that game. And that has taken the Spanish team into the semi-final of the 2026 FIFA World Cup. One thing that is taken through the Spanish team is how fluent they are in terms of their ball holding ability. They try to hold on to the ball, so it relieves pressure on their backline. And I've also checked through this thing. The Spanish coach Luis de la Fuentes is yet to lose a knockout game as the manager of Spain, which makes it quite difficult for teams whenever they are meeting. And of course, on Tuesday, it's going to be France against Spain. This is a cracker. This promised to be a tough one for both sides. And of course, like I said in my earlier preview, I talked about the fact that these two sides met in the semi-final of the last European Championship, of which the French team won by 2-1, and took that opportunity to beat England in the finals of the Euro Championship to win their European title. And of course, they are squaring it off again. I saw an interview of Lamine Yamal saying they are not afraid of the French team because they met 2 years ago in the European Championship semi-finals and they beat them. And that's how things are going to be. So the Spanish team have qualified. They are through into the semi-final and they're going to be meeting France. Let's see what happens. But Lamine Yamal has different ideas. He says they are not afraid of this French team, which is quite a big one that we're going to expect. I think it's going to be a meeting of an irresistible force meeting an immovable object, because the French team looks irresistible and the Spanish manager also looks like an immovable force. So who wins when the French team squares it off or meets the Spanish team in the semi-final of the 2026 FIFA World Cup? This has been the podcast channel with our. Thank you.